Yes, sure. We're back again on the Just Joe Football Show because, of course, the transfer window is a constantly moving, a constantly spinning. Found it quite interesting in the past hour or two that we've seen both the YEP and Leeds United Live do an article on Kalvin Phillips. It's almost like maybe they've been fed a line from the club on the situation because they're both running with the story at a similar sort of time, which shows to me that someone at the club has thrown them a freaking bone here. One's said it won't happen, one's left it a little bit open-ended. Could that be a targeted ploy by Leeds United to potentially get it out there to further help with negotiations, or is it a case of, look, we are not getting this guy? We'll touch on it all. Kieran Maguire's been talking as well on Leeds United and the finances and what's available to Leeds and what they can likely spend, yeah? So we'll get into that. KP not coming back. I am delighted, yeah. You got what you all wanted. Yeah, I'm good. Let's talk about the articles, though, in question and see what's been said by Isaac Johnson and, of course, Graham Smith. Or Graham Smythe. Graham Smith. So Kalvin Phillips to Leeds. Transfer truth revealed as Man City man suffers a setback. It does say Leeds are very unlikely to facilitate a return for Kalvin Phillips this summer, with the club holding a number of concerns over the midfielder. The biggest stumbling block, of course, is the wages, given his current pay packet at City is thought to be in excess of 150 grand a week. Now, do remember that apparently Leeds United were going to pay 10 million. That was going to go to Kalvin. He would renegotiate a lower deal with Leeds United. The highest contract the club has ever given out is around about 80k, at Leeds United. The injury record of Phillips is also a concern. The England international was seen sporting a protective boot while attending the Kaiser Chiefs gig at Temple Newsam, having undergone Achilles surgery. So there are fears Phillips could miss the entirety of pre-season due to his operation. Just bear with me one moment, folks. I'm just getting a call. Sorry about that, people. That was some suspected spam. Anyway, yeah. So apparently he'll miss all of pre-season due to this, which would hamper any chances of him securing a summer move. Something his entourage have been keen on. He also missed 8 games due to injury while on loan at Ipswich. 3 years remaining on his contract. The expectation from Leeds is that Phillips will only be loaned out, and with clubs only allowed to loan players from 2 UK rivals as per transfer rules, Phillips is seen as a risky transfer, which I would agree as well at that point. So he's only played 17 Premier League games over the past 2 seasons. Let's have a look. United are expected to have a busy summer with midfield set to be target area of reinforcement. Yeah, and then it just finishes there. I do want to see what Graham Smith shared on it, though, as well. So he has a bit of a different slant. Talks about Leeds and Kalvin are in a fairy tale. And this is facts as well, by the way. Unless Kalvin Phillips also went in for a personality transplant when they did his Achilles, is exactly the kind of person Leeds United should want to sign, which is where the angle I came from, you know. And they've talking about why a reunion is currently rated highly unlikely by club sources. And again, I'll come back to that thing of like both Graham Smith and the Isaac Johnson have released articles within time of each other, which tells me that the powers that be, the press officer at Leeds United, has said to the local press, "Well, this is what's the issue, and it ain't that." Yeah. Transfer rumours linking Phillips with Leeds are to be expected. There is no future for him at the Etihad. Leeds are in the Premier League. He's a Leeds-born supporter who played his very best football and rose to international level under Marcelo Bielsa. Between now and the end of his career, any period of uncertainty will be filled with suggestions that he's on his way back. Now, a desire to come back is also expected on the player's side, of course. Yeah. He's Leeds to his core, and the last time he played regular football at anything close to his best was in the colour of his hometown club. Yes, his taste of glory hasn't gone well. West Ham was disastrous, as Graham put it. Ipswich Town brought just 14 starts, an Achilles injury and relegation. He played in just 2 wins as a substitute in both. A career that arguably was already in need of revival 2 years ago is crying out for something that will rekindle Phillips' smile on the pitch. Obviously, Pep Guardiola called him overweight. Graham Smith goes on to say, as a character, there could be few better examples of the kind of dressing room glue Leeds would need as they attempt to survive in the Premier League than Phillips. And this is where, from an emotional standpoint, that's why it makes sense for me. But I'm an emotional fan guy. I lead with my heart over my head. I'm sentimental, etc. I don't shy away from that fact. Passion merchant, yeah. Equally at home with the more senior dads as the younger element of the squad, he grew not only in ability but in leadership. Goes on to say, it just talks about Strauch and injury issues with Ampadu. Hang on. Those and 2 handful of others boost enough appearances and senior involvement to give Farke a measure of leadership, but the German is expected to want Premier League-ready additions this summer. Experience and nous will be key for a squad full of players yet to prove themselves at the top level. Phillips, at the very least, can point to his 92 Premier League appearances and say that he's too good for the Championship. But one of the main hurdles that would need to be cleared before a return could be possible. And again, this is what I'm saying about there being 2 different slants on it. It almost feels to me that Isaac Johnson's kiboshed it, whereas Graham Smith's left it a bit open-ended. Is that the wages are too good for a side only just leaving the Championship? I almost feel, right, and again, this is paranoia or whatever, or I'm 2-2 getting 50. Is this not an engineered press drop by the club to put out there in the ether? This is the situation that we have. I'm not sure. When he moved to Manchester City, Phillips signed a life-changing deal, obviously 150 grand a week. Still 3 years remaining on that. And he would have to give up an enormous sum of money, which is why we were talking yesterday about the potential £10. Yeah. The £10, the £10 million fee that would go straight to Kalvin. The loan would also be less than straightforward too, because City would have to agree to pay a huge chunk of the salary, as they did when he went to Portman Road. Then he just speaks about Ampadu versus Phillips. He says you cannot and should not rule anything out, especially where Leeds are concerned. Phillips isn't expected to play for Manchester City next season, or indeed in any of the seasons left of his contract, and will need to find football somewhere. It is perfectly possible that Phillips will again play in the famous white shirt before his career is through. Right now at Ellen Road, it is considered unlikely that it will happen in the season that will see him turn 30. He's the right kind of person, and some will say the right kind of player, but this might not be the right time. So it almost feels that the club are putting that out there. For what reason? Maybe it is just a fact of, listen, that deal's not going to happen. It's too expensive for us. We'll wait and see. I would like him back. You know I would like him back. I've been on record as saying this. I don't think he's a bad player, and I think he would rediscover his form. But if the particulars around the deal are going to be too much for Leeds United, then there you go. If we saw what we saw yesterday about them, being a potential £10 million price on him, which I think is pocket change for me, and then it goes. But anyway, it doesn't look like it's happening. So the majority of the chat that voted, yesterday to say that they'd rather not, it looks like you will get your way. I'm actually quite sad, but yeah. But this, I'm going to get into it again, but Kalvin's still playing in the Premier League. Click was playing in fucking MLS, bro. It's a farmers league. Do you know what I mean? I'd rather see Milner come back. But yeah, listen, Kalvin's not going to come back. It would seem at this juncture. You know. Now, also, your man, Kieran Maguire's done an article with the BBC, an in-depth look at finances. He looks at a number of clubs and he also looks at the promoted clubs. So I want us to quickly discuss this about the finances at Leeds United. So he goes on to say, what financial resources do the promoted clubs have? Obviously, this full article here covers, you know, Arsenal, Villa, etc. But then there's a piece at the bottom of it specifically for the newly promoted clubs. So he says, having been in the Championship for 2 years out of the past 3, Burnley may need to be conservative with their PSR loss limited to 61 million. Aside from Sunderland, the Clarets are the only Premier League side yet to go above the 20 million mark in a single player purchase. Sorry, you can't see that. Wow, they've never spent over 20 mil. The Black Cats return to the top flight via the playoffs comes with the knowledge they'll be able to reinforce significantly for the step up in class that awaits. Enzo Lafay's move from Roma in January included an obligation to buy clause, and the French midfielder could well kickstart a recruitment drive with Sunderland in good financial shape. They will be, right? They're ahead of the game. I could see them doing something similar to what Ipswich did. Yeah. Since being relegated from the Premier League in 2017, Sunderland have not spent more than 10 million in a single year on player signings. Really good recruitment they've done there, despite receiving parachute payments, and they have only made losses of 18 million in the last 2 seasons, Adam Maguire. So they've got cash and they're a big club. So it'll be interesting to see what Sunderland do. Leeds, who finished top of the second tier and in a less fortunate position, they will have to box clever in terms of recruitment, continued Maguire. Spending 100 million is just about feasible. So just about. Why the mathing? Why is it just about? Can someone explain that to me? I want to know why. Why is that gone? Why? Because I mean we've earmarked £30 million for each position that we have, and you would imagine there'll be player sales. I do think there will be some sales. I think Joseph will go. Yeah, Randy. I know. I would normally disagree, but I have seen a lot of that over the past. He does know a lot, but yeah, there was. I remember specifically a clickbait thing that happened last season that totally went against what. But listen, he's the finance expert. He's the one that does. Apart from Seb Splatterblur, what's he called? Seb Splatterblur. Not Seb Blatter, but Seb Splatterblur. That's not his name, but the guy who does it on TalkSport's really good. Yeah, but I agree, Tom. You know, Meslier, Joseph, Joffy, Greenwood, JB. These players go. Could a Gruev go if we were to you know, improve in midfield potentially? Strout will go. I don't think we'll lose numbers at centre back. We can't. We need to improve on it, but I don't think you can. I don't buy into this whole Spurs stuff and that. Honestly, I don't. We've been hearing that now for 4 seasons. It's got to a point where it's bullshit. There you go, Damar. Best way to be, mate. Best way to be. Not listen. I said this earlier, Kershaw. If we actually deep it, the only players that I'd guarantee I'd want to stay would be Bogle, Rodon, Ampadu, and Tanaka. Anyone else can go. Is that mad? Yeah, Chris, that was it, wasn't it? We missed playoff final. He ran with an article saying we were in the shit and we were going, and everyone was saying you're going to have to sell £100 million, all that sort of stuff, and it just wasn't true, was it? I don't think that's what's happening. Lord Rodney Troll. If Fulber wants to say I would keep him, I know this is unpopular. Why would you keep him, Mark? It is unpopular because it's wrong. I think he's shite. Honestly, think he's dog dirt. That's just my opinion. No way. No, because Solomon's not our player, and it'll be James will stay. But my point is, it's a big step up, man. Guy location, it is a big step up. We can't. Yeah, he's probably the only one. Maybe James, but Premier League, man, it's hard. It's a hard old slog. No, I don't agree either, David. I'm not. He's good. You know, we can't get away from that. But what's this one then? Leeds United and Brighton have inquired about. I'm not even going to try say his name. I've not. This is. Let me just share this. I think Jack or Solomon might have mentioned. Not Solomon. Sonny might have mentioned it in the chat. I think it was Jack. Let me just take this off screen. Leeds United and Brighton have inquired about Igor Paixao. Paixao, is that right? You reckon? The Brazilian scored 16, assisting 10 last season for Feyenoord, who want around 40 million for the forward. This is from where Feyenoord we are. I wonder if this is just like let's have a look. It might just be like a Leeds live, but I don't know. Leeds and Brighton inquire about Paixao, asking price at least 40 million. Reports after a possible transfer of Igor Paixao are slowly starting. In the past few days, it came out that Marseille is interested, and this must be a publication. Also adds two more clubs, Leeds and Brighton, have also explicitly made inquiries. That Paixao might make a move this summer comes as no surprise to anyone. I will just zoom in for you. I don't know about him, to be honest, Ash, but I know there'll be people who will have a decent knowledge of the Dutch market, to be fair. At the same time, the Brazilian is still contracted until 2029, and Feyenoord therefore does not feel the need to sell him. This means that the Rotterdammers can stick to a high asking price. The club reportedly wants at least 40 million euros for the player, who has achieved impressive stats in both the Eredivisie and Champions League. As Fabrizio Romano also reported, Feyenoord will be saying goodbye to Redmond. They'll be leaving for Villa, right? That's not really. There you go then. So again, I don't know anything about him. I'm not going to pretend to. I'm going to ask quickly Lockie though, because Lockie will have a knowledge of this guy. I know. Because Lockie knows that market. See what he's saying, man. See what he's saying. Poor lad can't talk, man, after his dentist operation. 33 million in pounds is what it is. Love that, mate. Thank you for that. But we need a spine. Even if we get good players, you need to get them playing. Yeah, spine's so important. Spine's so important. Yeah, no, we're not saying the bad players. And like I said, I want Solomon guy location, but it's the Championship against the Premier League. Do you think James will have that much space and that much joy against some of the best left backs in the world? That's what you've got to ask yourself. There you go. It was Tyler. Big up. I'm just downstairs, mate. There's a because of the rain yesterday. There's like a bubble in my roof again. There was last year or year before. Some that watch it, and I looked up this morning, and if it pops, obviously on my equipment, so I've just had to come down. He's looking at it tomorrow. Yeah. So Igor Paixao. I'd like to have a Brazilian. Nice. The last one wasn't too bad, would it? Was it? Rafinha. So watch this space. But yeah, I don't know much about this guy, so I can't really say. But about 33 million. Listen, we need a goal scorer, don't we? What's the latest, mate? Kalvin's off. I don't know. It just seems a little bit engineered. Look, call me I don't know, a cynic or whatever, but either it is not happening because why have we had Leeds Live and Yorkshire Evening Post both run with the Kalvin story right at the same time? They've not both sat at home and gone, do you know what? I'll do a Kalvin story. Someone from the club has notified them that it's highly likely that this deal won't get done. Why won't it get done? His wages are too much. Okay, so that's now out in the ether. So my point is that an engineered move from the club to put it out there that this is what's the stumbling block? I don't know. Or is it a case of they're putting it out there to say, look, it's not happening, so let fans know? I don't know. It seems, you know me, I'm always questioning stuff. No, it's not that much. No, bro, they came out within an hour of each other. It was definitely from a freaking a bone. From a freaking bone here. I don't see us getting Kalimawendo though. Or they could just call his agent. What do you mean? What do you mean by that, bro? His agent. It's not like accessible. He's with like the same agency as like Grealish and that. It's not the old Hayden Evans anymore. If that's what you're thinking, bro. All right, okay, so all right, it's not a coincidence then, and they both called up at the exact same time to the agent and decided to both run with the article within an hour of each other. It must just be a massive coincidence. Come on. Yeah. Look, if he asks for a couple of mil, fair play, but 10 million is taking the smeg. Yeah, this is the thing, innit? Maybe he's saying to City, I'll leave, but pay me up my contract, which I don't blame him, by the way, because having listened to Under the Cosh, a lot of yous will listen to Under the Cosh. Parky always says it. You want me to leave? Well, you can pay me up my contract. So they should. Because I remember Parky saying if they don't, I just used to boot balls up in air and then eventually they'd pay me what they owe me. Why should Kalvin take less sense? So he's probably saying, look, if you want me to go, then, you know. You know about me? What, you on about me, Sonny? Where have you been, bro? I said I want him back, you mad head. No, I agree. Yeah, I agree. But look, the story is that it's not happening right now anyway, so there's question marks over it. So bro, how do you think deals get done? Bro, come on, man. You're not that naive, are you, to think that stuff doesn't go on? You're not that naive, surely, to think that stuff doesn't go on. No, I wouldn't mind him as a bench. Come on, bro. If you get a fully fit Kalvin, come on, bro. I disagree with you. I disagree with you. I disagree with you. 100%. Do you honestly see Burnley or Sunderland? If Kalvin's fit, he walks into Sunderland's midfield over Dan Neil. Yeah, he does. Not really, Matty. We've seen us linked to a German striker. Yeah. Isaac Johnson has just tweeted out this as well. But anyway, we move on from Kalvin. It doesn't look like it's going to happen anyway, man. So Isaac Johnson's piece, which is the piece we've just gone through there, but these are the stumbling blocks. Leeds very unlikely to sign Kalvin. Wages are a big concern, as his recent injury record. Other factors are also putting off Leeds too. Plus, no breakthrough yet in Firpo and Byram contract talks. Again, we know, and I'm interested to get people's thoughts on that. Like, I'm going to do a live stream with some guests a little bit later on as well, I think. But the fact that Firpo's been offered less than, you know. Oh, JC, you know my thoughts on it, bro. You know my thoughts on it. I had people try to tell me that last year that he wouldn't have got in over Gruev and that. But listen, it is what it is. We move on. We move on, don't we? Leeds have been freshly linked with interest ahead of the summer transfer window. So let's see what Torgvist has been saying. This is... So let's have a look, see what he's saying. Remember Torgvist, the keeper who spent time on loan, not on loan, on trial with us. We spoke about him the other day, Torgvist. There he is at Malyaby. Do you know that looks like Pavel Savicki? Is that Pavel Savicki next to Torgvist there? I thought he weren't allowed to play football anymore. Is that Pavel Savicki? It fucking looks like him, I tell you. Anyway, let's have a look. Of course, it is fun. Torgvist told Football Direct of links to Leeds. It means you're doing something well. I answer the same thing, so it's quite boring, but now it's like that. It's proof that you're doing it well, and I take it in stride. At the same time, there's more focus here, but it's fun to hear about it. Again, it's one for the future for me. Asked whether a move to the Premier League would be his dream. The Swedish youth international emphatically replied, of course it is. I'll be lying if I said otherwise. England and Italy are probably the main destinations that I've had since I was little. We'll see what happens. So if Leeds want to get it, they can get it done. But the report in the Daily Mail also mentioned James Trafford going to Burnley, which would then mean Pope to us. Kelleher, as we know, has gone to Brentford, and then there was also talk of Sam Johnston and Aaron Ramsdale. So experience first, but Torgvist can't be coming in as your Premier League number one, can you? But he's issued to come and get me, please, surely there. It is, wasn't it? It was Pavel Sabicki, wasn't it, Damar? 100%. He was shy, man. He could cross the ball at times, but he was shy, man. JUSTJOE could be someone who... I mean, I think it was Pavel Sabicki, man. But I didn't know that until people in my chat told me about that, so... Yeah. Norway's in Ireland. It's top of the drill. Okay, so in terms of the scouting report as well, so I've just sent that transfer link to Paixao. I probably butchered his name. And the response from Andrea and Lockie. Andrea put no ways in both our lists. Top of the tree. At least 30 to 35 million. Ben Lockie's put, please, I'm on my knees. So clearly this striker is, according to them, will be the one. So Leeds, so they're, I've just sent them that story, and both have said would be all over that. And this is the links that's just come out in the last hour. So I don't know a lot about him. Leeds and Brighton inquire about Paixao, asking price at least 40 million. Igor Paixao. Marseille want him. Also Leeds and Brighton. Brighton, are they on about Paixao? Yeah, so there you go. That could be one then that we go for that could have legs. 33 million, 36 million to get it done. Yeah, Andrea put 30 to 35. So we'll watch this space. It would be nice, wouldn't it, Louis? Would be nice. But again, I don't know. Stop it, man. You've took that personally. Don't do that to yourself, man. You're not bad. I know, right? They've already got Rutter and they're getting rid of Matt O'Reilly, but I swear I read João Pedro could be on the move. Maybe that's a replacement for João Pedro. Definitely. Could be, couldn't it? I know you are, broski. I'm joking too, man. I'm joking too. So this, where was this from? Let's have a look. Yeah, some similar, mate. I'd obviously do anything for Paixao at Leeds. I have a dream and that is it. Wow. So this was from, let me tell you when this was from. 12th of May. So over a month ago now, Andrea's just, this was Lockie's 12th of May when they're talking about their lists. He's put, I'd do absolutely anything for Paixao at Leeds United. I have a dream and that is it. He was also linked with Arsenal in January, so I'm not holding any hopes. There you go. There's the lads. Just ring up Chelsea. They have too many. Yeah, therefore. I don't know, mate. Maybe. I don't know. I think we're more likely to see people leave. Oh, see, I didn't know there was an incident. I just heard he was leaving. Ah. There you go. Well, there you go. So it might be his scouting report is top shelf. Yeah, it's quality, man. They're really good. Andrea, well, Lockie's recovering for some dentist work. He sounds like, at the minute, he sounds like Jonathan Ross. So yeah, when he's ready, I'm sure we'll get them scouting reports going. Agreed, Louis. Yeah, agreed with you, mate. We do need to see some base. I was going to do a just stream at 7:30 with the lads. I think I still might. So we'll leave that there, and we'll set something up a little bit later on. I might just leave it tonight now. We'll see. We'll see. Check how much he's on Wayman Paixao. You want me to have a look? Let's have a look then. I wonder if it might not give us Europe. No, Holland, Netherlands, Riverdurzi, salaries. Was it Feyenoord, isn't it? 33,000 euros. I don't know what that equates to. 30 grand. I don't know. 30 grand a week. Something like that. But I'm going to make my... I made a curry earlier on. It's just in pan. It just needs eating up. So I'm going to have my curry with my naan breads. And then I might come live. I might not. I'll keep you posted. 28 grand. Okay, so you're giving 50 grand a week, don't you? Forget about Marseille. Dead league. Forget about that. Come to Premier League. Keep us up. There's 50 grand a week. Rise into 80 if you keep us up or something. No point getting Paixao unless knocking the opponent out is our new tactic. Thought it was João Pedro, no? Or have I got that wrong? I don't know. Yeah, watch his space, man. Lockie's on his knees for it, Paul. Anyway, thanks for watching. I think I'm tired. I might just leave. Yeah. But you know me, right? Like, with live 3 times today. I love this. I love the transfer window. If anything happens, I will come live. You know, if there's any news. And at the minute, there's a lot coming out, isn't there? You know, in the weeks leading up to the start, it's been a bit quiet and, you know, a lot of it's guff. But now we can talk with some meat on the bones, which is, you know, the best thing about it. Lucky spot. I need this. Going to be gutted when he goes Brighton. Wants to get in the Brazil squad, so we'll want to play. Maybe that's our selling point. Let's hope so, Damar. Do you really? I love it, man. It's great for a content creator. But yawning, curry needs to be made. I'll see you in a bit, man. Like, you're going to turn up with... No, definitely not. Peace out, man. Love you, man. Thanks, everyone.